Not so long ago, there lived a very angry boy named Jack. Everything in life, big or small, made Jack furious. His anger was like a storm, growing stronger with each passing day. The more frustrated he became, the more his anger consumed him, and the cycle seemed endless. Jack's temper caused a lot of pain to those around him, especially his family and friends who loved him the most. But Jack was too blinded by his rage to see the hurt he inflicted. One day, after a particularly explosive outburst, his mother sent him to the woods to cool off and reflect on his actions. As Jack walked through the forest, cursing and kicking stones, he didn't notice an old witch gathering herbs nearby. She watched him for a while, intrigued by his relentless anger. "Who are you?" Jack snarled when he finally saw her. "You're in my way." "I'm a witch," she replied calmly. "I can turn you into a frog or make your tongue speak like a parrot. So I'd suggest you drop the attitude." Jack glared at her. "You're in my way and you smell." The witch looked at him thoughtfully. "You're an angry little boy. I think you need to be taught a lesson. Shut up and get out of my way." Jack shouted. "I did warn you," the witch said. With a great flash of light and a whooshing sound, she cast a powerful spell. "There, it is done. You are cursed. Every time you become angry and start to hurl insults, you will breathe fire like a dragon." With that, the witch walked away, leaving Jack feeling dazed and confused. By the time Jack returned home, his anger had subsided and he had forgotten about the witch and her curse. But that evening, as his family gathered for dinner, Jack began to lose his temper. Just as his father lifted a perfectly roasted potato to his mouth, Jack erupted in anger. To his shock, a burst of flames shot from his mouth, turning the potato to ash. Terrified, Jack clapped his hands over his mouth. His anger was replaced by horror as he realized the damage he had caused. Later that night, when Jack was told it was bedtime, he grew angry again. Flames burst from his mouth, scorching the walls and melting the television. As Jack lay in bed, he thought for the first time about the impact of his anger on those around him. Over the next few weeks, he saw firsthand the destruction his fiery outbursts caused. The townspeople began to fear him and avoided him at all costs. Jack felt sad and lonely, realizing that his anger was driving everyone away. But the witch's curse turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Jack slowly learned to control his temper. At first, he managed a day without getting angry, then 2 days, then a week. As he controlled his anger, he became a calmer and happier person. The townspeople noticed the change and started to include him in their activities once again. Encouraged by their acceptance, Jack tried very hard to get rid of the last bits of his anger. With strong self-control, he finally beat his fire-breathing curse. The witch's spell was lifted and Jack was free. Jack decided to leave some of the scorch marks on the walls as a reminder of his past outbursts. These marks served as a lesson on how a moment of anger can cause lasting damage. From then on, Jack lived a happier, more peaceful life, always mindful of the fire within.